This is a slide I created because this comes from my own belief, okay? And one of the beliefs I had with me is that if I became a physician, made a ton of money, I would be doing great in my life, okay? And that's far from the truth. And that's why I made this diagram here. And it shows you over a period of life of a physician, you are going to make close to $9 million, out of which post-taxation you'll create like 4.5. There's some broader assumption here. So bear with me, pardon my assumptions. You're going to make $4.5 million. Well, income post-taxation each year in a 30-year period will be $150,000. And you are going to make approximately per month $12,500. And there is a liabilities, and I know that liabilities is spelled wrong because I don't like liabilities. And you see the house, car, insurance, utility, food, education, vacation, clothing, family, and that doesn't include any life events. If you ended up with a divorce or something big happened, that can get really messy. And that's like fairly basic if you can really see it. So I want you to know that I realized by working this, and I teach this to the medical students, because I want them to realize when they graduate that whatever they're doing is not the end of things for them. This is not the final answer. It is a part of the answer. And the reason I say it's part of the answer is that you have access to the money. You have access to your credit. And you have access to your skill set, which will help you make more money. But if you don't use it in a proper way, it's not going to change your life. So how do we change this equation? So one of the equation which we see here is income tax. So to be more tax efficient, and all of you, I don't have to tell you that real estate is the best way to be tax efficient. Then you look at the profits, and you can increase your more profits by investing your money wisely and using that money to work for you hard while you're doing other things to grow your assets. So what really stops you from having a dream? So most of the people will kind of like say, okay, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have knowledge, I really can't travel, my health doesn't fit me. Means you can just put in anything there on that list. But in the bottom, there is always fear, there's a doubt, there's a certain degree of worry, anxiety, and you can put your favorite emotion there, whatever you like. So what's really happening here is that you are experiencing your life in a certain way. In whatever way or flavor you have chosen, that flavor is going to dominate your life for a longer period of time. So let's look further. So how do you create freedom? And one of the ways you can create freedom is by simply letting go. And no one teaches this, because sometimes what it is like, for us to achieve and grow and go to next level, we are always trying to gain more. Okay, so we have an equation of addition. So we want to add. And that equation of addition only takes you so far. Sometimes you have to subtract. And when I'm talking about subtracting, you have to subtract all that which is holding you back, your baggage. So how do you create more success in your life is by bringing more awareness to where you are and what's really holding you back, so you can create a journey of success. Is it making any sense for now? Okay, so we'll go further. So in this life, I was talking to this young lady who is going to Canada for education, and she's in India. She was working for me as a virtual assistant, and she got admitted to Toronto, really excelled in her exam, and she was super excited. And she was talking to me. She has worked with me for just a year, month and a half. Very talented young lady. And there was a lot of these people around her, and I was kind of just chatting because it was her last day, and people had kind of made this huge celebration for her, and she was showing me with her camera all the things around. There were balloons, there were cake, and she said one thing very simple. She said, I'm not an emotional person, but it feels like that I'm going to cry at this moment. If it increases to any moment, so that feeling of connection to that particular moment, and I kind of I took a step back and I said that, remember this with you, because all we are doing in this whole life is trying to connect and create experiences. And from that experiences, whatever we are gaining or losing is a byproduct. So in rapport, I would say it's all about connections. So all when we connect, something magical happens. And that magic is kind of you cannot give any value to it. And that's why people want to have relationships. That's why people have friends. That's why people go out and talk to. Even at a certain level, that's why we are here together talking about something simple. And the other part is the mindset. It's like when that connection is happening, So in this lady's mind, when this connection, this huge opportunities was happening, the only thing her mind could show her is that I'm not an emotional person and I would cry. The rest, everything was blunted. The beauty of that connection, the amazing part which was going around her was totally blunted. So I want you to understand this, that whenever the life is happening, are you there to connect to it? And what is the mindset or framework in which you are looking at that event? That controls your destiny and that controls your reality. So if you look at your neurology, your neurology is very unique and very powerful. Your neurology determines the reality. And it may be a little push on your brain, but what it is there are billions of neurons firing in your brain hundreds of times every second. And that's creating an electrical impulse. And that's creating an amazing environment around you, which you are perceiving. Since your senses cannot work that fast, you have a common perception of a continuous reality. So this construct which you experience around yourself, to which you give so much value, is basically an expression of your inner self. So these neurons are amazing. They kind of fire at the trillions of them, billions of them around you. You are the most sophisticated machine which has been ever created. So there's more than you see and hear. You create this electromagnetic field. And this picture is taken from a heart map. And they have mapped this field around you. So even when you go out, the type of vibration, the type of thought you are holding in your brain is determining and creating the reality for you at that moment. And I want to allow you to sink that in. And think about it, the majority of the thoughts which you hold, like in this moment, what's going on within you? What is that thought process which is being held in you? And that's what is determining what you are creating in and around you. So what is mindset? There's a lot of things which has been talked about mindset. So the best way I explain is, if your mind is fixed, that's a mindset. So you've set your mind on something, whatever it is. So the moment you set your mind on something, you basically get stuck. But in reality, the mind is very fluid. And if you look at your experience throughout your day, you would realize that a normal person doesn't have a great ability to hold their thought. If you hold on to a thought, any thought, and if you can hold it, just practice this. Okay, I will slow down. Just practice this. Bring a thought in your mind and try holding that thought in your mind. And see how long you can hold it. If you can hold it beyond 17 seconds, that thought has a greater ability to come manifested. So 17 seconds is the key. It's really not like hours of meditation, even just for 17 seconds. Now, it's not an exercise for you to hold a thought for 17 seconds. But what I'm saying is that you are so powerful. And I want you to realize that power. So the moment you worry whole day, think about how much worry you are creating around yourself. That's not the design. That's not where you want to be. If you love worry, that's fine. You want everybody anxious around you, create more anxiety. You want everybody screaming around you, just scream and yell. If you want to experience love, what would you do? You'll create love. If you want to experience peace, just create that. And that will create more of it. So when you think about money, success, and other people and other things, it's kind of like that's what it is, Where do you stay? There's a lot of things on this slide. It said, where do you shoot low for safety? Or do you blindly charge ahead? Do you see yourself failing, or do you accept the risk and, as part of the process and stay safe? So you don't know, in how do you behave in front of other people? Do you know, or you don't know what to do next? Or are you just so fearful that you don't want to mess up anything in your life? So all things on the slides are just projections of a subset of your mind, how your mind is playing. But the key is not that how your mind is playing. The key is that what is it creating for you? And that's why you need to be aware. And now I'll try to introduce another point here. And another point here is very simple. That you are the owner of your mind. Would you agree? That you are the owner of your mind. And that ownership is the key of opening to the fluid sense of our reality. So mindset in general is basically the key to your success. And it's very important that you have a very fluid mind, like a water flow. And because you have a fluidity in your mind, you have an ability to move through life the way you want to. So it changes everywhere you are, and it changes every area of your life. And that's the key here. In social life, financial life, health, or even the material things. So we talked about with mind being part which impacts every area of life. It's not just enough to getting rid of things or something which you can learn. It's about you realizing that you have to kind of move something out and adopt something. Now, is that part of your ability? And that's the key. Is what you think. So you can have this is very important. So you can install a 10,000 thing in a person, and they can be really great, and then suddenly one thing throws them off. One single belief, one type of programming or mindset. So you may have seen very successful people getting into a lot of trouble with a very simple thing. And you can sit back and say, wow, how did this happen? Because one simple key turned over the whole thing. So how you approach something If you are fluid and not rigid, it will allow you to figure things out in a much simpler way. So the best ways you know how you perceive things, how you experience things, how you get motivated. What do you think about yourself? So I was reading this book, in the one thing which it came to ultimately, this was like $1,000 program being sold. And then with that came this small book, a very small book. And that small book sat on my table for over 6 months before I opened it up. And it hardly had like 60 pages, out of which 40 of them had some kind of like material which the publisher was selling. But in the first 20 pages, there was this interesting element. And the interesting element he talked about is, how do you see yourself? How you see yourself is going to determine how you are experiencing your life. So that's the framework, because that's the window through which it's not only you're seeing yourself, but that's the way you are seeing what's outside. So it's time to wake up to your greatness. Realize that are you willing to wake up to your greatness? Because that's the key. That's the key which we are all trying to work through and go from there. So what describes you? Now, we will slightly divert this into just the process of, we'll talk only about money a little bit, because money becomes a big factor, especially because it just keeps people tied up, keeps people engaged in things which they want to be engaged or they don't want to be engaged, and keeps them moving in a certain direction. So we'll talk about this. And this will be geared more towards the money. If you're having more money, it isn't so much about changing the way you work, or anything else related with it. If I told you that if you have the ability to make as much money as you want, how would you perceive it? Would you say that I was just crazy, not making sense? Or would you just say that, hey, there is something there where we have to figure out, which we haven't figured out? And I have been a student of this, and I'll tell you a story. I haven't told this story for a long time. So I have a medical student with me. When I was in medical college in India. And so we used to come on like vacations, college vacations. And I was on one of the college vacations, and I went to her home and I found that she was not there. So when she was not there, I asked, where are they? So they were living somewhere else in Delhi. And I said, okay, let me go there. And these people used to live in a 4-story home on a bigger lot, like 1,000 square feet. It's like more than an acre lot, and 4-story home. And I'm like, wow, that house must be really big where these guys are living now. So the more I drove there, I became more cautious, because that area is not very popular area. And finally, I reached a home which was on the 3rd floor. I knocked on the door and realized that these people were living in like 1.5 bedroom with their in-laws. And I'm like, what happened? And they said, well, one of the partners kind of cheated them and they lost everything. I'm like, okay. Next year, I got an invitation for her wedding. And when I went for the wedding, again, I saw her dad and I asked, Uncle, what's going on? How are you doing? How is business? And we had a conversation with brother, and he said, yeah, we bought a house right next to where we used to live. We are doing great. Come visit us. This is a bigger house. We love this house, so on and so forth. Business is booming, and we are doing great. And I was very happy for them. I was excited that they were back on their feet. But what was important for me to understand is that where in India, so many people struggle to meet their needs. How is this person going from not having anything and living with their in-laws to buying such a big house in a very posh area of Delhi and in such a short time? And I have been studying that since then. And that's why it's very important for me. And the story I'm telling you is from late 80s. So I've devoted multiple years to figuring this out, that what really creates a sign of success for people. And how do they really go? And each of these things which are there, if you think that you are not reaching your full potential, guess what? Are you going to reach your full potential? No. If you think you are not financially free, what are you creating? Not financially free, more of that. If you're not truly happy, do you think you're going to become happy? No. You are going to be miserable for the rest of your life because you are in a not happy state. And if you think that the locus of the control is outside you and somebody is running your show like a destiny or something superpower or something else outside of you, where do you think you will end up? So it's important. Those are the thoughts I want you to understand and pay attention to. So there are myths which we believe in, okay? And about money. And the reason I'm talking about money is that in today's world, the way I look at money is the movement, the energy you need to move and survive. I would not associate much with survival, but money is more about movement. It has been associated with survival because of humanity's past history, so on and so forth. But still, there are certain areas which you want to understand and which you want to learn. So the only prerequisite here is that you keep your mind. What you're about to hear will contradict your beliefs, and definitely some things will kind of ring through you. So let's dive in, So you know that money is difficult, We want more of it, but can't ever seem to get enough. We know that money can achieve good things, but we feel conflicted when we spend it. You pay somebody $2,000, you figure out what he's going to do for me or how it's going to benefit me or why it's, he hasn't done what he's supposed to do. So we are grateful when we have the money to purchase things we want, but also feel like we are being selfish, So when we go eating in a great restaurant, paying, spending a few $100s or maybe a few $1,000s, I don't know, based on the restaurants you go to, we feel good about it. It just feels good. But on the other hand, there's also a thought that there's so many people who don't have it. And there's so many people who are struggling. So why do we have this relationship with money? Why do we get so tied up in knots over it? Why do we stress about it so much? That's an important part I want you to think about. So I'm just building this up inside you. I'm just bringing, you may be experiencing different thought processes inside you, and that's okay. And how many times you've gone back and really questioned, is it really true? So like one of the beliefs I had is that I always wanted to finish the food in my plate. And I still struggle with throwing food outside. Whenever I'm throwing food, and Eva will be like a best judge for it. Whenever the food is being thrown, I'm like, why are we throwing food? And so when I'm not home, they just clean out the pantry. They check all the expired items and they will throw it out. And then I'll come back and I'll ask, why did you throw all that? There it was, all expired. So that's one of my beliefs, that I want to hold on to even that expired food, because growing up, even as a child, the food was very scarce. So even the expired food, no, it's good for another 6 months, even after the expiry date. So we never question what it is. So if you want more success, more money, and more happiness, then we have to look at it. Mastering money is basically we have to look at what we are believing because that's very important. So what is one of the biggest myths? And I had some of this when I was growing up, that money spoils you, that it's evil. That there's something wrong with people who have more money, oh, they can't sleep, they don't feel good, or they always fall sick, or whatever. So there's always this like feeling about people who had money. And I'm just going through these examples just primarily to kind of for you to be aware, and for you to kind of look at, you may have some other beliefs, I do not know, okay? But I want you to know that. So maybe parents talked about like this, when we were growing up. Maybe unconsciously you adopted the belief because you went to a particular church or adopted a certain religion or had certain faith. That plays a lot of role in it. Or you don't want to, you really don't want to accumulate too much money because you do not know what it will do to you, because there is a fear. It will change me, or people don't love people, who have too much money, or so on and so forth. So I want you to really go inside, and look at that very clearly. So do you really think that money is evil? How many of you think money is evil? So really, money is just printed paper. Have you ever been hurt by paper? Or plastic, which is credit card, or by metal? So money in reality itself is very neutral. It is not good or not bad. $20 bill is a $20 bill. 100 million in your bank in a digital currency is 100 million in your bank. It's really nothing more than that. Now you give the meaning. When you put 20 bucks in your wallet, does it make you a good person or a worse person? Has got nothing to do with it. If you add money to your bank account right now, does it make you a bad person? If right now, if all of you got $200 million extra in your bank account, will change you to be a bad person? Probably not. You're just the same person. You're just going to do the same thing. You're just going to live your life, enjoy, maybe do a few extra here and there things, but really it won't change you. So here's the key point. It's what you do with the money is more important than money itself being good or bad. You can give for the people who need it. You can buy stuff. You can start charity. You can help a friend set up a business, send somebody to college. Like Joseph just did a big drive for water in places where there's no water. So you can do a ton of good with money. You can also do bad with money. So it's not the money itself, it's the action which you follow determines how the money is going to be impacting your life. And here is another one. What do you think about this one? People who want money are greedy. Do you ever think that? Now let's look at that. So if you want money, we are always hoarding money, but we'll never give it away. Is that true? Can you really hoard money? If you have money, you're going to spend it. It doesn't matter who you are. In old ancient language, Sanskrit, the money is described as chanchala, means which is always in motion. You can never keep money at a spot for the longest period of time. If it is a treasure, somebody will find it at certain point. It can never kept, you can never keep it stuck. So money is neutral. You can be greedy, you can accumulate it if you want to, but having the money can allow you to be extremely generous. Have you seen people who are generous with their money? Have you seen people who allow other people to flourish and do a lot of charity with their money? Or donate it to the people who are in need? But simply, you cannot do all those good things if you don't have the money. So do you really think that people who want more money are greedy? They can want it for, doing something else. You have to have some finances in first place that you want to be generous with. So if you're providing a service and you're charging for it, there's no greed in it. It's your service and you're charging for it. That's it. What is the other one? There's not enough money. Do you believe in it? Most of the time that originates from if you grew up in a household where there wasn't enough money, or parents quarreled about money, or if they made money as focus. Although we said that there is such a big inflation and there's such a big problem all around the world, we printed multi-trillion dollars. Where did that money come from? It's a currency we create, so we can print more. So do you think it's limited? At least for your and my use, do you think it's limited? How many of you think there is a limited amount of money? Okay, I will let that thought percolate. Trillions and trillions of dollars is there. There's no scarcity of money. Precious materials, you add on top of that digital currency and other, they just, I was watching the news, they had a floating asteroid where they're sending this probe to. That asteroid has more metal they're going after, more than the whole world economy. So, do you think money is limited? No. Money is not limited. Our perspective becomes limited. So, and the reason I'm talking about it, when you have that scarcity mindset, I want to bring that point. Scarcity mindset, there's not enough. When you have that, you feel like you have to hold on to everything. When you really cannot hold on to anything. So I want you to know that. I want you to make a shift here to an abundance mindset, which believes there is more than enough to go around. And what you really need and create a value would come to you. So money is really not a zero-sum game. Money is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't have to leave you to go to somebody else. Everybody can have enough money for themselves. So we live in a world of abundance. So what do you say? We live in a world of abundance. Just feel how abundance feels. What is the another one? I will never make enough money. So first we thought it's not enough, there's not enough. And then the second one is I will not have it. So, I don't know how many of you listen to Joel Osteen. So I was listening to him, and he was telling this funny story about this fisherman. He was fishing, and he was catching a lot of fishes, but he will release all the bigger ones and only keep the small ones. And so he got really, this guy who was watching, at the end of the day, he approached him and said, I can't figure one thing out. He said, what? He said, you let go of all the big ones and you only kept the small ones. What's the deal with it? He said, that's very simple. I only have a small frying pan. So if you carry a small frying pan, You will let all the opportunities go. So in this world, there are bigger frying pans available. You don't have to stick it to the 6-inch or 10-inch frying pan. So if you are in, your belief is primarily about there's more than enough. If you think there's more than enough money in the world, why should you believe that you will never make enough? Okay? So we want to look at that because that limits you significantly. That you would not make enough. You all are highly talented. Your skills, talents, and expertise are much more worth than money. You are walking in a multi-trillion-dollar machine, which is your body, which vibrates to create this universe for you. Think about it for a moment. Well, guess what you have to do is that you have to believe in yourself first. So how many of you think that instead of increasing your hours of work from 40 to 80 and 80 to 120, you can change and start believing in yourself first? Do you think that will be easier? Can you believe in yourself instead of working 120 hours a week and trying to make extra money? Can you do that? How many of you think that's a good business plan? Okay, great. So you got some takers. That you can believe in yourself. You may not really know how you're going to make that money, but that's okay. I did not know that either. Each day, each moment brings a different way and different plan in front of us to grow. When we open up in this universe comes to our service because you are a powerful being, you are a blessed being who was sent on this earth to flourish and to live a life filled with abundance. And I know I sound like a pastor, but it's what it is. It's the truth. So you have to choose. Are you going to live in your power or are you going to give your power away? That's your choice. Okay? And yes, I told you, you can pick up all your care, concerns, and worries later. For right now, just be here. So you master that. You master your mindset. That means you need to have an unshakable belief. Okay? And you need to make a decision that you can and you will make more than enough money in your life. And you believe that wholeheartedly. Can you do that? For yourself and for your future generation, for your kids, and all the people around you. I'm just asking you to believe. That's it. Doesn't cost you a penny. Just believe it. Simple. This is another one. Sense of isolation. If I make more money, people won't like me. Have you ever thought about it? Hey, rich people don't have any friends, they live alone. Have you ever seen anybody like that and created a mindset about it? Especially if your parents and family didn't like people who had money. If your parents loved people who had money, then you usually won't have this belief. But the reality is we don't dislike people who make money. We dislike those who flaunt their wealth in an arrogant way. So it's not the money, it's their actions which you dislike. Would you agree? So where does it become the money's fault? I don't know. So if you make more money and start bragging with people, then that's bad. But if you make more money and have fun and be yourself and enjoy, is that bad? Probably not. If you use your increased income to have fun like this and teach other people and bring more people into your fold, show them their way to be successful, is that bad? I don't think so. So It's not about accumulation of wealth. It's about you being yourself and living to your highest purpose. And what's another one? And this is like a vow of poverty. Oh, I don't need that much money. I'm just fine without it. I don't need much. I eat 2 times. I go to Walmart for my shopping. I don't have a car. I get an Uber when I need it. I really need $1,000 a month to live. But is that really a money's fault? Or is that your thought process fault? You can still have the money and still live like a pauper. No problem. No one will prevent you. So do you really need that belief? If you don't like, your needs are not there, you can give it to your friends, family, charity, your favorite organization, food pantry. There's so many people who are still learning to be just great like you. Isn't that what we are here for? So, are you really living your absolute best life? Are you the best version of yourself? Are you able to live fearlessly, generously, joyfully? So money makes things possible that you otherwise won't have. Money just adds to your experiences of life and allows you to expand your potential. So by having money, you're doing this whole universe a service, and that service is by creating experiences of your life, you are making this world a better place. Would you agree with that? Okay. So some people agree that by living your life to the fullest, the world is becoming a better place. So what is money giving you an option? It's time to you get rid of this myth because it's really not helpful, in any sense. This is where we are. The power of your mind. It's not about mindset. It's about your mind. Okay? Where you want to set it. What you want to experience. Do you want to live in a frigid temperature? You turn your thermostat down. If you want it warm and cozy, you turn it up. All I want you to know that you have a choice. So, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? You have to change your thermostat to an abundant mindset. It's like switch. Can you flip that switch to abundance? Just mentally imagine a switch for a moment. Even if you don't want to, just look at a switch on the wall and just flip it on, that your abundance is on. You can create a ritual. You can turn certain things on because your abundance is on. Okay? I know I'm spending some time here and I'm doing this because you will hear the rest of the things all the time. I want this to be drilled in you, that you are the person who's in charge. You are the person who chooses. Unfortunately, when we are a child, no one teaches this to us. And maybe we can't grasp it. So no one kind of demonstrate this to us in a way where we can grasp it. That is the mind which creates your reality instead of external action items. So we are so externally oriented that we forget our inner powerhouse, from where your external reality is getting created. So I am bringing you back to yourself and giving an opportunity to turn these things on. So how many of you are willing to turn the abundance switch on and turn it to 100%, or maybe 200%, or maybe 500%? It's a digital switch. It doesn't stop. Keeps rotating like a Nest thermostat. Can you turn it on for yourself? Would you like to have that for yourself? And your brain will shift and create a reality which you will really enjoy. So Marcus Aurelius said this: the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly and take care of what you entertain notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. So all those people, they spend gazillion of their time, hours and hours, to tell us. It's hidden in our plain sight. It's written everywhere. But I'm just trying to put it another way, so probably this makes more sense at a certain level. So happiness in your life is really depends on your thought process. Your happiness and the reality, if you feel unhappy at any moment of time because of somebody else doing something, guess what? Who is feeling unhappy? You. Is anything happening to them? No. They will keep doing the same thing. So why not you just set yourself at happiness irrespective of what goes on outside you? I know this sounds crazy. So somewhere in our life, we learned that how we feel and experience life has to be set upon what's happening outside. And not only that, we find 3 or 4 more people who would agree with our viewpoint. If not, we'll post something on Facebook. Now the social media always helps. Oh yeah, I hate that store too. Oh yeah, they treated me bad too. 5 friends will chime in. If you don't support somebody, they think you are not their friend. Everything they post, you got to hit a like or love emoji there. But do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? If you love and like yourself, can you be simply happy? Just for yourself, not for anybody else. Now, you may annoy other people, but that's not your responsibility. Irrespective of what's going on, you make a decision to be joyful and happy. Do you think that will make life much easier? How many of you think life will become easier? Okay. So just master just one thing, and the wealth and abundance will start flowing in you. Because you believe in it. You are the creator. Even the Bible says that you are made in His image. Means that's like a big reference. A lot of people believe in it. So why not do simple things? Okay, I'm not, for all those semi-religious people, I'm not trying to teach religion. I'm just using Bible as a reference. It's a good book. If you have time, you can read it. It's really nice to have some reference points. So your mind controls the outcomes. And it's very important to know that. And it's very valuable to know that. So you see what is there? You're not attracting the wealth you want. Where is the switch? Your inner world. You're not getting your head above water financially. Where is your switch? Your inner world. Examine that. You're not able to move forward in your life. Where is the switch? Your inner world. It's not outside you. Always remember that. When things are going wrong, stop for a moment and just think, just pay attention to yourself and see what you're feeling and thinking, and just shift that, and everything external will shift. Just try it. Give it a chance. You're going to love it so much, or if you can't do it yourself, find a friend who is always positive, happy, and joyful and tap into them. That might be an external frame of reference. Where you call them, you always want to make sure that you get the advantage of that. Okay. So you choose what you want to do. So changing your mind about money. We've done a lot of work. You're ready to change your mind about the money. And you have to just simply do one thing. That there's enough money for everyone, and you simply need to reach out and take it. Okay? There's enough money for everyone, and you simply need to reach out and take it. I know. All of you are thinking, oh, this is crazy. But that's again is a belief system. So you have to believe for you to achieve. This God or universal intelligence, you call it, it has your back. The Creator always has your back. So it doesn't want you living in a scarcity. It wants you to live in an abundance. Have you seen any church or place of worship poor? No. Why we are poor then? Because we don't hold it inside us. We're holding other things. So regularly affirm this, that tell yourself things over and over again till they are really, really get into your brain. Opportunities are everywhere. Once you start having this abundance mindset, your life will shift. You'll start seeing things clearly. You'll start identifying opportunities which are way in front of you. Things will become a lot more clearer because you believe that the universal intelligence or the awareness which resides in you is much more powerful and really able to shift your life for good. If you don't believe in God or universal intelligence, don't worry about it. You are no separate from that. Just believe in yourself. So an abundance mindset is absolutely necessary before you start to attract wealth and build your dreams. But the mindset is just the start of it. What follows is the action. And when you combine this mindset and a belief set, and you start taking action on your dreams, what happens? You become unstoppable. You want to become unstoppable? Then believe in yourself and take action. Take massive action, massive focused action with a strong belief in yourself is going to change everything for you. Just two things, only two things. That's the simplest thing. Write it down. What you want to achieve, write it down. Very simple. And it took me a very long time to learn that. Write, draw, model it, clay it, do whatever you like to do with it. You know, put a board up there, whatever you want, even put in a software, but do something which is tangible. Because what happens is that when you bring that thought to a reality and you write it down, it becomes manifested much easily. So do that. Write your dreams down. Very important. Dreams and goals, dreams and goals. So here is a very important thing which I want you to write down somewhere. Your thoughts will lead to the feelings. Feelings will lead to the actions, and actions will lead to the reality. So always create, affirm that they're going to come true, because you got to have your faith in yourself and belief in yourself. And if you don't want to do this, don't want to do this for yourself, but do it for others. Because more you experience this, more you're putting this out in the world, more you put this out in the world, it's going to come back to you 10,000-fold. So even if you believe that this world should be a better place to live, do it for that. Because you got a gazillion-dollar machine here which is vibrating and sending impulses out in every second of this your existence, while you're alive, why not send the good out? So the more concrete you can be, write your dreams and goals down. Visualize them. The more positive emotion you feel and see yourself living them, more it's going to become true for you. Start taking action. As I told you, start taking action. And here is something to think about. What actions do you need to take? Do you need to talk to somebody here? Do you want to hire a mentor? Do you want to start building another business on the side? Send an email, talk to a friend, whatever it is. Whatever you need to do. Make it a goal to take an action based upon your dream. But you take an action on your dream based upon this framework, which is right here, which is you believe in that. Not for a frame of work that you need something, you need to have something, or you need to sell something. You believe in that all that will come into your existence. It's up to you how long you want to keep your dreams waiting. Totally up to you. Maybe you started in your childhood. I don't know. But your dreams are here in this packet, means you may come back again and try another life in another universe. That's a whole different choice. But while you are here, why not make it? Make the best out of it. Who is stopping you? You know, there's a freedom. There's a freedom in this universe. Huge freedom. Use it. So master your money mindset today and watch what begins to happen. Create your wealth machine. And wealth in every sense of your life, okay? In your personal life, in your professional life, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit. Those are the only three things. And if you want to go beyond, connect to God or the universal energy or the power or the source, whatever you call it, it doesn't really matter. That's an extra bonus. Here's the spoiler. You have to be just watching how your mind works. You can be very much on the go, but if a part of you lags, just know that can spoil the whole thing. If you believe that I'm really good at what I do and I'll keep doing better, I can figure anything out. Every problem has a solution. It may not be there with you, but there's always a solution. There's always an easier, simpler, and more usable way to do things. So what can really reset you? Your enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic about yourself. Be curious. There's never failures in life. There's always feedback. Be empathetic to yourself and others. And use your imagination. That will take you to another level. So from this land of imagination, I'll take you to a land of a little bit of reality. And yes, you can do it. We'll come into how do we use this in our real estate syndication and joint ventures. Of course, we are going to be talking more. Joe can tell you tomorrow. He has a multifamily boot camp tomorrow, so you can learn all about it. And we'll tell you something simpler.
It's Saturday, not tomorrow.
Sorry, Saturday. I'm always a day ahead. I'm always creating a new future. So it's Saturday. Joe has all the information, so do join him. It's basically, we'll talk more about it. He has a whole slide set on it. I just wanted to change where I wanted that you're going to get the best bang for the buck. This is more realistic way to do it, is where you take all that mindset and put it in reality, where you basically pool your financial and intellectual resources. Remember, it doesn't only say it's financial, intellectual, to invest in projects and properties which are much bigger than your own. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not any kind of professional, and this is just for information. So again, this is a big disclaimer. So what can happen when we all come together, okay? So I just want you to just give you a snippet of this, okay? And so we are taking over 273 unit project recently. This is a project which is live. It is only for accredited investors. That's why I can talk about this to you. This is 273 unit overall $37 million acquisition, which is our team is doing. And as a physician, I would never touch $37 million in my whole life if I just went and did my job. This is the power I'm talking about. This is what you can do. This is what we are doing. We are getting $23 million loan. We are raising $12 million in equity. We are giving our investors 80% of the profits, 9% cash on cash, and with bonus depreciation on top. And this is the slide, it seems I put in the last moment. And this is from a different deck, so pardon for those edits on the top. We team up with people. It's not a single person game. And this is how we create return and value. So I teach people, especially physicians, is okay, if you slowly invest $1 million into this, it means you're getting 70 to 80 grand a year coming to you without work and creating a long-term value for your life, for your family, and everything else. This is what you can do when you come together. This is how you invest. You just go up on portal. This is highly technologically advanced, and you wire the money. You don't even have to touch a piece of paper. So this is how easy it is in reality. And this is where you are. You go back to your neurology. So you see what happens when neurology gets activated, what magic can happen. Believe in yourself. You all are amazing and magical, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Chander, for that wonderful presentation. So you guys can unmute yourself and ask any questions about syndications or how to get into syndications. And I can tell you from my own experience that it's been a blessing partnering with Chander and other folks on syndications, because I used to be a single family investor and a lot more work involved in taking down a single family property compared to what we are doing. So it's a lot harder to do a $200,000 property than doing a $20 million property. That is a paradigm shift that has to happen, right? That's why we do this, mind training classes, because you have to believe in your potential and then, take some action to, get to where you want to go, right? So it's not difficult, but it's not a single person game. It is a team game. And once you know how to associate yourself with other people, and there is something called power of proximity, right? Who you associate with is what results you're going to get, right? This is not something that you want to embark on by yourself, but you guys, that's why we ask people to turn on your cameras and introduce yourself. People in these meetings have connected and done deals. So we know that, right? So that is the power of being in a group of like-minded people. All of you are here. I had to, congratulate you for being here. It's at past 9 o'clock in New York, whatever time zone you are, right? So you already taken action. You're already here. So that itself is you are all winners in my mind. And as Chander mentioned, we are doing a one-day boot camp. I know most of you here have already registered, but if some of you are here who haven't registered, I'll put that in the chat, and you can take a look at it. I know when we do a class on Saturdays, it's asking a lot from you guys, right? Everybody wants to binge watch Netflix on Saturday, right? You have a choice, or you want to sleep in. You have a choice. But the people who really want to make a difference in their life show up, right, on a Saturday. And this time, we always charge for this event, but this time we are making it free because we want to bring as much value to as many people as we can. And that is to celebrate our community at ROI Muse cost 10,000 people. We just started this company 2 years ago. Now we just achieved a pretty large milestone of 10,000 people that are connected with us. And so together we can do a lot more. right? But I think we provide education and the software and coaching and training, and big part of that is working on your mind, so you can believe in your potential and then go do it. So if you haven't registered for the bootcamp and if you want to join, I'll put the link in the chat. Go and register for that. And if any of you are looking to get into syndications or becoming a passive investor, please reach out to me. My email also I'll put in the chat. So we always have deals that we're doing. This is not to pitch any deal here, but if you're interested in partnering with us on our future deals, we can have a conversation about that. But if you're looking to invest passively, we want to put you in our database so that way we can stay in touch and and notify you of any deals we are doing personally. And if you're doing some deals, we like to take a look at that as well to see if there's opportunity for us to partner in some fashion. It's all about working together to achieve more. So that's the whole definition of syndication, right? It's about people coming together, pooling their talents, pooling their money, and pooling their resources to do bigger things. So that is literally what we're going to be talking about in the bootcamp, in the one-day bootcamp, just to set the expectations. I cannot teach you everything about multifamily syndications in one day, but what we're going to talk about is how to build your business, right? So this is a business that you're going to, you have to know how to run this as a business owner. So we'll be focusing a lot on your business skills, how to set up your business, and who are the right people you need in your business. And we'll touch on some of the technical skills that you need in your team. Doesn't mean that you have to do the analysis and underwriting. Not everybody is wired the same way. You have to have complementary members in your team. So in our team, for example, we have people who are looking out for deals, and we have people who can underwrite the deals. We have people who can do the due diligence. We have people who can, do the asset management. So it's a group of people coming together and achieving something bigger. So that's it. It's very simple. And take my word for it, whether you believe me or not, I have spent a lot more time buying a single family investment property than acquiring a $20 million property. So that's the power of syndications, and it all starts with your mind. And Chander, I'm trying very hard not to use the word mindset today.
It's just one of those things, you kind of like, you look at it and you just want to set your mind to mindset, but it's really not about that at all.
Yeah, no, it made perfect sense.
Someone asked that wealthy machine question, basically, your TFA, thoughts, feelings, and actions. And I'll add that framework through which you are looking at the world determines your reality. So when you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, high-five yourself. You got your spirit and the body, you got two people there already. And if you bring in God, there are three people. So you're never alone. And who better to celebrate yourself than you yourself? So I would say celebrate yourself, because irrespective of what's going on, how you experience life is going to determine everything in your life. The same situation will be very different how you're experiencing your life. And have people around you who just kind of like are supportive. And it's one of those things, this may sound, it takes some time to sink in, okay? It takes some time to shift the big ship like yours, because you all are amazing. You have taken a direction where you are going. And there's a lot of energy which is invested in everything you do. So it may take some time to shift, but here it is. Like if you ask anybody who has sailed a ship, even like a few degree course correction in your life would take you to a very complete different destination. So don't discount the changes you're making. It's very simple. If you just believe in yourself, it becomes much easier to work that out and to work it through. And there's nothing in this life which you can't go through and which you can't be helped with. If you don't have the knowledge base, there's somebody who can help you get through it. So how many of you can decide to be happy?
Put in the chat, guys. If you want to
Yeah.
be happy, if you want
Do
to
you want to be
put in the
happy?
chat, that is how we
Yeah.
manifest.
Do you want to be happy, or is it something which somebody taught you and you want to carry on with that idea? So the whole thing which I want you to know that you are very fluid and we are very capable. And I want you to understand that, because a lot of the times, and I don't want to say anything bad about corporations, the whole design is to control. And whenever you step into freedom, the only way you step into freedom is by believing in yourself. And all of you are different than the normal herd, because those people work, 7 to 5 and then take care of whatever it is and then go off to deep sleep after that. But you are different because you want to experience something different. And for that, this is your first step. That you believe in yourself. And because you believe in yourself, you will shine differently. Now, how many of you, it may be too early, some of you slept through it, but don't worry, I'll work on you overnight. That's okay. I work outside this body too. But how many of you feel that you have a different perspective than you came in? Okay. And how many of you have thought about someone or something you're going to take an action to shift yourself? Great. Great. So just do it for yourself and for your community or anybody you love, like even for your spouse or for your family, your brother, your sister, whoever it is, that when you become powerful, when you start living as your divinity you were born to live, everything around you shifts. And you're like the sea which lifts all the boats. Don't hold yourself as a small. So I was like, I'll tell you a story, and you may want to believe it or not. Okay, so but that's up to you. So I was listening to the Bible, like in the morning in the school they used to read from Bible, and they said if you have and they used to speak in Hindi, so I may not remember the exact. So I'm translating it from my understanding. Said if you have a belief for a mustard seed, even for a mustard seed worth, you can move mountains. Okay? So that has a very big meaning sitting into it. What it means is that, how big is the mustard seed? Do you guys know? How big is the mustard seed? Anybody has seen it? It's very small, very small. Okay? Very tiny.
It's like poppy seeds.
Like a poppy seed. In it, how big is the mountain? Huge. But what does it tells you? It tells you if you make a small change inside you, an extreme change outside will happen. Okay? Mustard seed, a tiny, tiny, tiny mustard seed. So can you give me a tiny mustard seed belief in yourself, that you believe in yourself? There you go. Somebody wrote here. Faith, even the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains. Yes. So where is the faith happening? Faith is happening where? Inside you. Where is the mountain moving? Outside you. So this magic has been laid out. I just want you to tap into it. This magic is already there. That's part of your design and construct. I'm just reintroducing this to you in a different way. This is no different. It has been said, it has been confirmed, written, preached But I'm just trying to reintroduce you to it, that even if you make a tiny course correction in your belief and systems which you have inside you, which you're playing with, and the least I have done is open up some of the doors in your brain where more light will shine over a period of time and things around you will start shifting. And enjoy it, because what it is like you came here for joy and happiness and to live your life in a different way. So I would say that I would give you an invitation to enjoy that, because that's kind of like why you are here. Enjoy means you're always enjoy. You're always enjoying. Okay? So what happens? Okay? So this is something which I'll share with you. And I learned how to describe it recently. So some people ask me, how do you do it all? Where does the energy come from you? Come for all of this? They always ask me this question. Okay? So I found somebody explaining it very beautifully, so I would explain that to you. So if you give love to somebody, where does that love arises? In you, isn't it? First, it has to arise in you before you can give it to anybody, isn't it? So who gets the most of it? You! So when you are living in your power and when you are distributing that power to everybody, where is that power going? Who gets the most of that power? You. So I would say be selfish in that way. Generate a lot of good for everybody around you. So when you be really selfish in real meanings, it just changes everything. So always be the giver. When you are giving, what happens? You always have more. Receiver has a choice. Somebody gets angry at you and you don't want to receive anger, what can you do? You can just stop. You can smile at them. Okay? So receiver always has a choice. So when you are interacting with the world, be a receiver. If you don't like the station, don't tune into it. You tune into your internal station, where you always have the harmony, joy, and good magic playing. Okay? So think about it from that way, and just giving you a different perspective. It's a different software. It's more fluid. I am just asking you to be in the seat of that power and enjoy that. You can make a different life. And it doesn't matter. You have another 10 years to live, 1 day to live, 1 second to live. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that in that moment, you're complete and in power. That's it. And you'll find 10 million ways. You know, I started going in syndication, me and Joe talk about it. Once you start working it, people will come and tell you how you can make more money. And then it's your choice. You want to make more money or you don't want to make money. That's your choice. Money is something which will flow to you. So do not make money your target. Make the believing in yourself as target. And rest is a byproduct. Rest, all of it is a byproduct. So when I was growing up, my mother used to say something very simple, and it took me a long time to understand this. So anything I'll say to her, she says, oh, don't worry, it will be okay. I'm like, how does she know it will be okay? So you know that there is something beyond you is supporting you. I was talking to a friend in New York. He's a cardiologist. And he's going through a tough time in his life. And I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, you know, I've talked to all these, he's telling me these different things. Like, everybody tells me that something great protecting me and helping me. And I'm like, just the plain simple reason that you're telling the story, that's a testament that something greater than you is protecting and helping you. So you may not experience it directly, you may not be introduced to it directly, but there's something bigger than you within you. Just tap into it. Simple. And all the doors will start opening, even the doors you didn't think existed. So I think, Joe, if there are no more questions and no more confusions.
We have a hand up. Elizabeth, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask if you still have a question. See one hand up. Maybe it was from before. Elizabeth, can you hear us?
I think she's muted.
Okay. So
to me, they can always reach me. They know. You will find out. If you Google my name, you'll find it.
Or you can talk to me and I'll get you connected.
Yeah. And Joe always knows where I am. And till that time, till we meet next time, we'll try to do more of these sessions and just take a topic and just drill more in, you know. And this time it was for money. Tomorrow we'll talk about something else. It's all about framework, beliefs, how we structure our reality. You can call this world a big hallucination if you want to. You know, the good part is you can pick and choose your hallucination. So might as well pick a good one. So with that, I think I'm good, Joe. If you want to finish it,
thank you all.
Somebody has any questions?
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up. We'll see you all on Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. New York time, and 8 a.m. on the West Coast. So look forward to seeing you all there, and we'll stay connected. Right? Don't be a stranger. Just reach out to us if you need anything. That's what we are here for, to help you guys with your life and your business. Right? So. Stay in touch. Take care, guys. Stay safe, right? And we'll see most of you on Saturday. Otherwise, we'll do the next session. We'll let you know.
Be your best. Be your best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Believe in yourself. You are the biggest thing which happened to this universe.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah.